I played my Dungeons and Dragons trademark, role-playing trademark, game trademark, and I wasn't allowed to wear my sexy schoolgirl outfit to the session. r/RPG horror stories right there. Sorry, your hanging out makes everyone a bit uncomfortable. This is a basic one today, huh? Alright. Hey, what's up everybody, SkyDieRay here. Welcome to another D&D Greentext video. If you want some motivation to watch this video until the end, well, first of all, it's great, you know, it helps me and I would appreciate you. Second of all, I think it's the first time I've sang in a video and it's probably bad, but it's there. It's towards the end of the video. So yeah, with that being said, oh, and also please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because a lot of people are watching without being subscribed. So if you would do that, if you're not subscribed yet, if you would click the subscribe button, also the bell if you want, because otherwise you don't get notifications. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope you guys don't dislike my singing too much. Tales from Adventurers League. Bribery. DM Bribery. How does it work at your tables? This reminds me of a game I had. Running an Adventurers League game. Guy and his 10-year-old son walks up to my table. Guy asks if they could play. I told him no, as my table had 6 players. Guy pulls me aside. He tells me that he promised his son that they could play D&D. He then told me that he's a busy man and that this was the only free night he had all week. The guy pulls me close and slips a 20 in my front pocket. He then asks if I was sure I didn't have enough room. Suffice it to say, we had a fun session that night. I even bought sodas for all 8 of my players. Okay, that ended up way nicer than I thought it would. What the f? I mean, that's actually kind of sweet, right? He just wanted his kid to have some fun. 8-player combat sounds abysmally slow, but hey, it's about the adventure, right? I've done 16-player combat. It's possible. I've done 24-player combat. One round lasted 45 IRL minutes. That sounds like my 6-player combat. Either 6-player combat or 4 with a monk. Favorite undead. Your favorite undead? Vampires. Too pathetic. Wraiths. Cool, but not much lore. Leeches. Too overplayed. Death Knights. Perfect. Angry zombie noises. Revenants. I wish Wraiths had more to work with. Most DMs just see right through them. A modified Revenant for a big bad evil guy would make for a phenomenal game. I've had henchmen be Revenants. I believe they serve better as recurring villains that are a thorn in the side of the PCs, but I think the way of the big bad evil guy is cheapened by making them die over and over. To each their own, of course. It's like, oh, him again, the guy we killed 3 times already. It makes sense for a henchman, you're just mildly annoyed by him. You want the big bad evil guy to arouse fear, not annoyance. Playing D&D. Session 0. Characters are being introduced to each other. I tell the DM I roll to rape and kill everyone. They refuse. Railroading, am I right? I hate being railroaded. I know this is meant as a joke, and this guy is, you know, joking, but I'm pretty sure there are some people that would actually, you know, do that. Try to roll to do something, you know, really fucked up like that, and then when the DM refuses, they just think they're being railroaded and they actually get annoyed. Like, Jesus, man. I played my Dungeons and Dragons trademark, role-playing trademark, game trademark, and I wasn't allowed to wear my sexy schoolgirl outfit to the session. r/RPG horror stories right there. Sorry, your hanging out makes everyone a bit uncomfortable. Why would I even play if I can't do this? Dying 12 hours after the combat. First time playing D&D. Show up 10 minutes late. Never seen a D20 in my life. DM hands me a character he made. Level 2 Dragonborn Sorcerer. I can make this work. First combat begins. Cultists working in a mine. DM pulls out grid map. Holy shit, it's like Fire Emblem. Decide to keep my distance since I only have like 10 health. Go 2 squares away from the pack of cultists, because that's the maximum distance mages can attack from in Fire Emblem. Cast Magic Missile. Hit each of them once. None of them die. They swarm me, and I'm at 0 health. One of them kicks me. 2 fail death saves. Rest of party don't heal me. Fail my next death saving throw, dead within 30 minutes of playing. DM pities me, and says my character survived the combat. Play the rest of the session, have a good time, instantly hooked. Me and Paladin barely survive escaping the seedy tavern we were in after pissing off the gang hiding in there. Accidentally burn it down in the process with my fire breath. Bros for life. Can't wait to finish the adventure. Love my Dragonborn sorcerer. Session ends. 3 days later. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Okay. 3 days later. Text from DM. My character died in his sleep because the DM doesn't give out freebies. Man, that sounds so bad. I mean, I get it, but at the same time it seems so fucked up because the DM already, you know, gave him another chance with that character, and just a few days later he decided he doesn't want to do that. Like, what the man? What the I don't know, that would be very annoying to me. I usually go easy on newbies, especially in campaigns with experienced players. I would have probably mentioned to you that Magic Missile has a 120 feet range, not 10 feet like in Fire Emblem. You mean you don't kick unconscious newbie PCs? The thing many DMs don't even do to vets? Right, like it's not that hard to keep people alive and make it into a decent story. They're cultists. Surely they must need sacrifices, so they start trying to bind him and keep him alive so the others can try and save him. I'm sure there is holes in this idea, but it took 20 seconds to come up with, which just means the DM wanted to be a jerk because he wasn't willing to put 20 seconds of thought into the situation. Lots of DMs seem to forget this, that it's the players versus the game, not them personally versus the DM. What? How dare you? I take personal satisfaction in driving new players away from D&D. If you can't play hardcore, puny characters in a super dangerous world that you couldn't possibly understand in session 1, well, that's on you, punk. Learn to D&D on your own time. They call me the Deaf, harvester of noobs. Anon and the octopus. What's the most unfortunate, unpleasant, unasked for magical realm you've ever had the displeasure to experience? Dare you enter my magical realm? My character almost got by an octopus. Basic dex save to escape the gropey grapple. The real friends we made along the way were the tentacles. Magical realm is where the DM inserts their fetish, right? If so, Planet of the Furries is a good answer to this question. Are they finally gonna fix D&D Races? Will the new wave of anti-racism finally force the wizards to overhaul the standard races? Like, what the is this Dwarf, short, hardy, and industrious. Halfling, short and hardy. Gnome, short and industrious. That face when they're just a foot and a half apart at most. The have less differences between them than a Chinese and a Russian, but somehow they're entirely separate species? And don't get me started on the half-elves and half-orcs. Why the are they separate fantasy races? And if humans, elves, and orcs can interbreed with healthy offspring, aren't they all just the same species then? What the is a fantasy race in this context then? Also, the title is completely unrelated. Thank you all for 1 year on Reddit. Yeah, that's yeah, that was something to read. Half-orcs are actually canonically a mixture of the beast traits of humans and orcs made by the god Cord to be the perfect athletes. Or, at least as of 4th edition, that was the case. I thought that it was common practice to forget about 4th edition. The humans thing is interesting. In one of the settings, I don't remember which, there are these eldritch monsters and there are a ton of half-breeds between them and every race. When those half-breeds hook up, there is a chance they just come out human, and that is the origins of humans in that setting. Also, you could view it like dogs. Lots of different breeds with different appearances, sizes, strengths, weaknesses and behaviors, but still able to interbreed. I mean, they are called races, not species, and different races of humans IRL can interreproduce. I don't know, it isn't as weird as the person in the green text makes out to be. Sure, it's easy to say they're all the same when you only look at one singular attribute they all share. How is it loins and tigers? Wait, lions? Oh, okay. Probably lions. How is it lions and tigers are considered separate species even though they can breed? And ravens, raccoons and hyenas are all scavengers, so why do we need to give them different names? They're basically the same animal. When you ask about backstories, be me, DM. Talk to players after one session and ask if they want more combat, world building, etc. At the end, I ask about backstories, and asked that everyone DM me about their player's backstory, even just a sentence or two I could work in. One player messages me a short but succinct paragraph. Other 3 players verbally tell me vague pieces, but I reiterate my request they DM me. I nevertheless take notes of what they told me. Couple of days ago, one player DMs me multiple 10+ paragraphs of backstory, detailing both their character and the tribe they come from, a little bit about both their parents. Includes goals for characters, flaws, etc. My face when I immediately start writing and plotting and planning. Happy DM feels. I've already brought up one PC's backstory by a single simple sentence. Sprawled across the chair is a corpse that looks familiar to you. PC name. This kicks off almost half an hour of roleplay. I'm sitting there just happy my players are having fun. Can't wait for our next session. That was nice. The way it started, I really thought it would be, you know, it would go the other way. But I'm glad it went and it ended like that. That player gets the point. The reason so many players choose the "I'm a loner, my parents are dead" backstory is to avoid giving the DM anything that they can use against their character, when a healthy campaign should have precisely the opposite to keep the PCs and, by proxy, their players invested. I deliberately put obvious DM bait in my backstories, while keeping the minor stuff vague or open-ended enough that it won't derail anything the DM has planned. A sequel on my Inherent Evil post. Necromancy. I don't think necromancy in and of itself is inherently a bad thing. I can think of many benign or even benevolent uses of it. Of course, the story of Lazarus is one such example. I'm curious about your thoughts on necromancy that isn't just cheap slave labor or an evil attempt to exterminate all life. I'm especially curious about examples of interesting necromancy in your past or present campaigns. Skeleton army could be used to protect the vulnerable or help one's country when all seems lost. Someone in the PC thread mentioned how his necromancer wanted to create automated farming using skeletons. Could help with the harvest. Farmer skeletons, huh? I guess you would call it a grim harvest. I have it so that in my setting, necromancy isn't inherently evil. It's just a lot easier to do if you're evil. It's difficult to find an ethical source of humanoid corpses after all, and necromancy spells in 5th edition say that undead become mindless killing machines when not under a necromancer's control, which are both much easier to deal with if you don't care about innocent people dying. Alright, comment review. This one's about the 40k nerd calling D&D a nerdy game. Flex on him by saying that 40k originally was a D&D-like game called Rogue Trader. Weird flex, but nice one. When I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large. And now that I'm grown, I eat 5 dozen eggs, so I'm roughly the size of a barge. Yeah, there's some min-maxing involved in there. DM. You take 4d12 cholesterol damage. Pretty sure Gaston is a ranger. He may not read, and he's big and strong, but that's flavor text, not mechanics. Let's talk his skill set. Marksmanship and hunting. Plus, we've never seen him rage. You could maybe even make an argument for a level of bard, given his keen eye for interior decorating and how he whipped the townsfolk into a frenzy, but there's no damn way he's a barbarian. I don't know why, but it bothers me how good of a point this makes. Yeah, I guess he's not. He's actually probably more likely a ranger, huh? I guess that makes more sense if you think about it. I wonder if it's possible he has any level in barbarian at all though. Or like, I don't know. Okay, someone has to do a scientific analysis of what D&D class or classes Gaston is. I don't know if I'm qualified enough to do that. Anyway, with that being said guys, this is gonna be it for this video, so yeah, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you did and subscribe for more if you haven't already. Also thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon, really appreciate it guys, so thank you for that. Links below if you wanna check that out, the Patreon, the Discord server, the subreddit, other social media, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, that's it, thanks again for watching and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye!